is to choose how they're going to route out the early game. We've seen a lot of Link's house into Uncle, into Sanctuary, into Kakariko.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if
and
both players
we've got a
move.
Link's house right now. So MrBarrybondz has started.
Yep, and don't worry, he hasn't jumped the gun. Both players are starting at the same time. We'll just a matter of getting them synced up, which we will do shortly. MrBarrybondz has got a signpost in hand, does a whole bunch of damage to these guards. With 1 kill and no hits, that's going to put him on the prize. 1 tier above in the triple prize tier, and it's just arrows.
Yep. So, yeah, MrBarrybondz making some kills happen, and it's pretty good. So Nicholacci looked like they opted for the Houlihan route, and if my eyes deceive me, there was not a whole lot in the Sanctuary chest. But we'll find out for sure right now. Yeah, just the small key.
Might be good to have that should the players pick up the power glove and have whatever they need to get through the dark rooms. It might open up something to do in the back of Escape, having that key now.
Ideally, the lamp, because you don't want it to be dark.
For sure. But feeling that, at least something to defend themselves with, something to kill the key rats and whatnot.
Yeah.
I predicted the Kakariko play, but both players are swinging down to the these bushes. I guess the advantage to this is picking up bombs from the bushes. 50% chance for bombs for some of these bushes. I confess I don't know which ones, but
I believe there are just the 2 there in the middle. The top right and bottom left of that center 4.
Well, Barrybondz coming up lucky on that second time through the bushes, tiptoeing through
Except
the
it was like
tulips.
the 3rd time. Yeah,
I lost track. There was just too many bushes.
There's a lot of bushes. So, yeah, if you have the bombs, that's great. You don't have to buy as many. Though, the way this is looking, they may end up having to buy some more. Just 20 rupees in the library, and they're moving on 20 more in the back of the tavern.
Nicholacci, of course, has a lot more than 20 or 40. The Houlihan rooms put him all the way up to 200. That's enough for Bottle Vendor and all the bombs he could want.
Yep. So yeah, the Houlihan room gives you that sort of consistency as far as money goes. Nice little chicken clip there. And the downside being that the Houlihan room forces you to go basically forces you to go the south route into Kakariko, and you save the big rooms with 5 chests for the last.
We're going to get a look at some of those big rooms. Barrybondz only has 1 bomb and not enough rupees like Nicholacci had to buy more. So he's going to be cashing in on that 1 bomb to open up this hut here, which can quickly turn into unlimited bombs.
Indeed. All the bombs you can stand. There's 1 in every corner. And there's that lamp we were talking about, and the Bombos medallion.
Bombos would be pretty handy in the sewers if they had a sword with which to use it, and I guess some magic. But Lantern is really what you want for those dark rooms.
Oh yeah. You definitely want the lamp.
This is also going to open up, logic-wise, a lot of early areas like in Eastern Palace and, of course, Death Mountain. They're still waiting on power gloves for that one. But
There's
nice
literacy.
And another coin.
So we've got the book and the ether medallion in Blind's hut.
And with a fire source, they're getting closer to the required items for Desert Palace. Nicholacci heading up to Lost Woods now.
I think that might be an errant boots on the tracker.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's supposed to be the books. The book, rather.
Right.
What if there were multiple books? But no book is as helpful as Mudora.
And Nicholacci's just going straight for the pedestal check.
That's right. Gonna either secure or kill our pedestal dreams early on.
Just couch cash.
Oh, there it is.
So
Stab
pedestal is dead early.
I mean, I guess everyone's gonna go home now. That's a shame. It's a shame that the routing has worked out this way. But you get that early book while you're here in Kakariko. That's just the way it goes.
Oh, absolutely. If you get the chance to do that pedestal check early, and you have a good excuse to do so, absolutely do it.
It can be game-winning information if you find out something required is on that pedestal and your opponent does not.
Well, there's a banana hat for Nicholacci.
He'll take that just in time for Halloween. It's not done yet. We got 45 minutes on the East Coast anyway.
Yep, I still got hour and 45 minutes, so probably till the end of this run.
That works out nicely. I would like to see Link in a full banana costume, though. I think he could pull it off. With his pink hair peeking out.
That'd work.
It's pink and yellow go well together. All right, at the dam, we got a bottle. It's a shame that they have this bottle now and not on their first trip to Kakariko. Opens up one more item at the Sick Kid, but they'll have to wait until they get back there to find out.
Yep. MrBarrybondz is also doing the pedestal check, so that little piece of information will be available to both players. Hey, the flipper's underneath the dam water.
Oh, that kind of tells a grim story of how did
somebody
they get there.
Somebody might have lost their ability to swim in a rather inopportune location, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, if there was like a pair of flippers and a Stalfos underneath that would be something. That's just environmental storytelling in video games, brought to you by Link to the Past Randomizer.
And this is it's appropriate. It's Halloween. You got the creepy Stalfos.
Sure, yeah. I bet Link's house would have you decorate it with a Stalfos or two.
It's like he walks over to the dam and the Stalfos is like, we all float down here, and then it's like
heading into Desert Palace, Flippers opens up a couple locations logic-wise, but not enough rupees for Zora, and I don't know, not feeling the mini Moldorm cave, even though there's a lot of items to be checked. Both players are taking that book and heading over to the desert.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing, you see this happen, you get an excuse to go to desert. I mean, why not?
Version 26 definitely will lead you into dungeons more often than not, so the players are figuring this is, despite all the items available at Mini Moldorm, it's in the opposite direction of this place. You gotta go one of the two, and not having a way to kill the Ropas could drop bombs, but doesn't want to bother.
Right. Well, those are called Ropas.
I think so.
I thought it was the
snakes.
Bags of snakes in the Dark World.
Maybe those are like Ba-Ropas or something.
I don't even know.
Yeah, Nicholacci also not doing Agana with that save and quit.
Right. Now we know it's just a big heart, but that's Nicholacci doesn't know that.
Yeah, but if he's not careful, he's gonna make Swiss cheese out of these overworld locations, and is gonna make it pretty hard to route around and clean them all up should he have to.
You can get a big old hole in your completion.
You don't want that.
No. Especially when there's one troll item just sitting there and you're like, oh, I gotta go back and check all these little things.
So this is the danger, I guess, of heading into an early dungeon. You're a lot less likely to have something to properly defend yourself with. Bombs can certainly work,
Yep.
but they're very clunky, and they're a resource at this point.
Do you think BarrybondZ will kill these with bombs?
Looks like. Look at them just so slowly wiggling away. That one at least got stuck in the corner, and that one on the BMO, so that's going to be 3 bombs, 3 kills.
Very nice. Now Nicholacci is heading into, well, first the dark section of the escape, on account of having the lamp and the key.
Yeah, it's gonna let him see what the heck he's doing, but still has no means with which to fight very efficiently here. Again, just the bombs. So enemies are a problem and down to 1.5 hearts.
So one thing we know about Desert is in order to complete it, you will need the Pegasus boots.
That's right. They have the lantern and the book, but the gloves are always required to finish the dungeon, and the boots are sometimes required. And it looks like this is going to be one of those cases. I missed the music in Desert Palace, so I don't know if Desert is a crystal or a pendant.
I believe it's crystal.
So that's good information.
It's
for
the one
BarrybondZ.
with the very staccato strings, right?
I think so. I honestly don't. They're kind of similar. I'm bad, is what I'm getting at. But BarrybondZ
Actually,
has a sword now, by the way. So Hasrula's hut.
actually think we saw a map check at one point, and all the dungeons are crystals. In the light world, anyway.
That's what you want to see. Pendant dungeons in the dark world. Those are usually the longer, tougher dungeons, requiring more and more items.
Yep.
This could be a pretty fast seed.
Alright, so
Eastern, definitely a crystal.
BarrybondZ is heading into Eastern, again having not checked Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, I'm a fan of checking dungeons, but
Now
yeah,
the
Mini
thing
Moldorm's
with
right there. Just go check it.
But the thing with Mini Moldorm Cave is, again, you only have bombs.
Nicholacci, okay, does land that. Only had 1 more bomb with which to kill that Moldorm. If that didn't go well, that would have been really awkward.
And we've got the mirror.
All right, I'm not going to count for too much just yet, but there are so many situations where that mirror helps, especially in efficiently routing both the dark world and the light world at the same time.
And Nicholacci, sticking to his guns as far as skipping, little Swiss cheese and loose square locations, and just jumping in the water immediately, saying, nope, I'm not doing Ice Route Cave right now.
Yep, Lake Hylia item revealed to just be a heart container. We'll get a look at Hobo in just a moment. BarrybondZ into the Stalfos room.
That's a fun trick.
It is. It's very hard to tell what is going on there, but basically the Stalfos spawn in the 4 compass directions around you. And by cleverly moving and triggering them to spawn in just the right place, you get one to spawn up in the wall and despawn, and the other to be right on top of that pot and despawn. So you only have to worry about 2 of them.
Yep. And because of that, for those of you who don't know, it has nothing to do with how fast you do it, right? You can take all the time in the world and still pull that off.
Yeah, as long as you move in the same.
Trick.
Yeah, it's move in the same way, basically. If you get too close to the middle of the room, is when they're all going to spawn, and you're not going to be in position to make them spawn where you want them to. So Nicholacci taking this land and sea route over to Ice Rod Cave, leveraging having the flippers and not doing a fake flippers here.
Using that one last bomb.
Yep, down to 0 bombs.
And just picking up a piece of heart.
Still no sword either.
Looks like there was a sword in Eastern.
There's one in Sahasrala's hut.
Oh, Sahasrala's hut.
Got.
Excuse me.
I'm pretty sure that's where Nicholacci is gonna go. But if he doesn't,
seems reasonable.
That sucks. Is heading that way though. Barry
I
Bonds is
definitely
pushed
want
out.
a sword if I'm going to go into the escape area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So players trading places now. Nicholacci's going to refill on some bombs and then likely head over to Eastern, while Barry Bonds is going to take a shot from Azora there. Does not die instantly because he has the flippers, is not using the fake flippers glitch here, but he's going to check, Hobo, Ice Rod Cave, Mini Moldorm, I think, still to be checked from Barry, so
Still has not checked Mini Moldorm Cave.
we're almost 16 minutes in. Definitely 16 minutes by the time Barry gets there. But we'll see who's jumped out to an early lead here after the players have kind of finished doing what the other has already done.
Alrighty. So Nicholacci going to pick up that sword.
300 rupees also gonna open up King Zora.
And that's another thing that MrBarrybondz will do, I imagine, on account of having that money.
That's right. It is going to take him pretty far away from things like the Ice Rod Cave and Mini Moldarm, so it will wait even longer. But that whirlpool is right there.
Hey, there's that third medallion.
All right.
So all 3 medallions acquired, we will be able to get into any dungeon we want, and not to mention we can mess around in Ice Palace without the fire rod if we want.
Yeah, and they already have the flippers too, so they're hammering and Titans away from...
There's that deluxe bomb upgrade.
Awesome.
Plus 10, which doesn't matter.
Not really. They have that sword now, so yeah, not really a big deal. I suppose if you were to find nothing else early on, but plus 10 bomb capacity, it might be pretty alright.
Alright, and Zora has a bottle with a green potion in it.
Definitely not worth the
Not
500
particularly worth it, especially since they found a bottle in the dam.
Yep, not even going to count towards progression. So Barry Bonds starting at Link's house, heading south to Mini Moldarm.
He's going to pick up that mirror.
That's right. That is a important find. It's not been helpful to Nicholacci to have the mirror, as early as he got it compared to Barry Bonds. But if Barry were to miss it and Nicholacci were to have it, it would start to really save time once the Dark World gets opened up. So it's a good thing for those who want to see this race stay as even as possible. But Barry's finally found his way over to Mini Moldarm.
Alright, so it looks like Nicholacci will finally be heading down into the escape proper, heading down towards Zelda's cell and that sort of thing.
We'll see where Barry decides to go. Ice Rod Cave has not been checked yet.
Yep. Looks like he'll probably head there. Gonna be disappointed, but you're gonna get that checked off in your brain.
Some players like to leave it if they can. The flute and the boots will both make your trip over here
Nicholacci, what are you
quite a bit
doing?
faster.
Nicholacci, you have a sword.
He does have a sword. And bomb.
Oh! Was he somehow locked from using it?
Not sure.
Did he get into the weird what's it called? The spin speed state and not have a sword to use it?
Maybe. It doesn't have the boots. I don't know how you would get into spin speed without the boots.
I know someone has pulled off bootless spin speed, and I don't know how.
Well, that's interesting. We'll maybe ask him about that if we can after the race is over. For now, Nicholacci is kept calm in a weird, stressful situation and is back on track here in Escape.
Looks like MrBarrybondz will be following closely.
Yeah, and now we can kind of see that the players have pretty much equalized. I don't think anyone's... Well, Nicholacci skipped out on Agana's Cave and part of Desert, but
Right.
otherwise, very, very close race, and Nicholacci a little bit ahead here. We're going to see what's in the Zelda chest. Oh, the 8-slash being interrupted. Interference being run by the green guard.
All right. There's the power glove.
Wow, that is a great item to find.
It's so bad.
Desert Palace can't be finished because we know the boots are required, but that opens up the back of Escape and Death Mountain.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably more importantly, Death Mountain. Because the back of Escape has technically already been open.
And
on
yet,
account of...
Nicholacci is heading south.
Yep.
Heading back to Desert, perhaps. Doesn't know its boots locked. Left early. This is going to be a time waste for him.
He's going to waste a little bit of time going in there trying to see if the big key is in that back chest where it normally is in the vanilla game. But unfortunately, that's not going to do it for him. He may also check Agnes Cave.
Barrybondz, meanwhile, has done the back half of Escape. Does not have the power glove yet. Got there, quote unquote, legit, but is on the way to the power glove now.
See, I think in the logic when they updated it so that the door or the throne is always open after you rescue Zelda, I think that actually removed the glove requirement from that back room.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you can find a required power glove in that room.
Now, we didn't find that here, but that's a good thing to know if you're, trying to run this.
So Nicholacci getting the bad news. Did he go to Agnes Cave before this save and quit? I missed it. I don't think he did.
Nope.
Did Desert Ledge, then went to Desert. So still something left to check in the desert for Nicholacci.
But he's got the power glove, so he's gonna peace out.
Not doing Escape while he's there, though. Gonna be heading, I assume, to Death Mountain.
I believe he's already done the back of Escape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the same way MrBarrybondz did a while ago.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so there's the ball and chain guard down. Power glove picked up for Barrybondz. Nicholacci, before heading to Death Mountain, gonna turn in the bottle at Sick Kid.
Yeah, Sick Kid time. And what does Sick Kid have? Just a piece of heart. So now we get to see what the old man and
Save and quitting from
Spectacle
Kakariko.
Rock Cave.
I wonder which is faster. Oh, he's going to Link's house.
Well, it's certainly not going to Link's house. Where is he going? Has he not checked Eastern proper?
Back to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't done Eastern proper. This will be the first check of the Lumberjack Cave for both players. Just a piece of heart. And MrBarrybondz will now be heading up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think this is the only place left where progression is to be found. Could be Old Man, could be Spectacle Rock, and with the mirror they can get into Tower of Hera, which is my bet.
So, who's thinking they find the cape up here?
The cape. Oh, that would be mean.
It would.
Yeah, if they don't find it, if they find nothing but the cape, that would really point to an Aghanim seed. In fact, I think it would most definitely point to an Aghanim seed, and they've only got the fighter sword, green mail.
How about the silver arrows?
That'll help if they can find a bow, but if they don't, then it's still going to be quite a trek up Aghanim's tower.
You know the rule. If you find the silver arrows early on, then the bow is on Trinex.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. You wish, like, you know, the silver arrow does so much damage. You'd think it'd probably be better than a fighter sword if you were to just hold onto it and like poke guys. But fortunately, the game does not let you use such creative tactics.
So 5-arrow upgrade and bombs. And so
Alright.
we are looking at something in the Tower of Hera. They can also look at what's on Ether Tablet.
That's right. They've got that bow, but no master sword with which to actually get the item on the tablet. Though maybe they come out of Tower of Hera with a master sword.
I missed some of that. I know that there were crystals at Turtle Rock, Skullwoods, and Thieves Town.
I think those might have been the exact same crystals I saw on the map check.
Well,
that's all right. We got chat and tracker looking out for
like
us.
Ice and Mire were pendant, and as was Palace of Darkness.
All right. Big key found in Tower of Hera for Barrybondz, so we're going to be going up, skipping the basement for now. Hopefully, if the compass is not found later on, we know that the compass is in the basement. Don't have to wait out that tile room.
All right.
Ice Palace and Misery Mire being pendants is pretty nice. Those are tougher dungeons.
Yeah, and Palace of Darkness means that we'll probably find the bow very late in the entire process, and Eastern will be the last one we finish. There's a piece of heart in the big chest.
So we'll see what Moldorm has.
If it's the compass, then we have a...
Nicholacci, please! Are you really going all the way over to desert for Agnes Cave?
Looks like he is.
Oh boy. This routing is definitely not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not... I'm no expert in this game. So I'm not gonna, fault anybody for the way they play it, but this just does not seem optimal.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's just some nerves. Getting to Nicholacci. It's a final race. It's a big race. It's an important race. To reiterate, whoever wins is going to be moving on for sure to the bracket stage. Oh, Moldorm, please! Wow.
Holding out that sword, continuing pushing in the right direction, and managing to stab Moldorm in the tail. And MrBarrybondz is going to be taking a coffee break.
Records are 3-2, both players. So that's why the winner is going to be 4-2, going to be moving on to the bracket stage. Loser's going to be 3-3. It's going to have to fight it out in a crazy wild card race to get into the bracket stage.
So unless I am miscalculating and have missed something entirely obvious, I think there has to be something very important in this chest, in the Hera basement.
Yeah, I think you're right. Don't think there's anything else, anywhere else. Anything could be. It's just a question of what it is.
The worst case scenario is like,
probably cape
or Master Sword.
Yeah. Master Sword at least opens up
Sword would give them access to the Ether Tablet, yes.
Yeah, so that's just a tiny bit less worse. Something that would be pretty good would be the hammer would let you just knock down those pegs to the right and explore all of Eastern Death Mountain.
Or Hookshot would get you there in another direction.
That's right. Both would be great finds for Barrybondz. We'll see. Torches being lit.
It's the hammer!
Hey, there you go. Mirroring on out.
And off we go.
No
Still
Ether Tablet check,
checking
though.
that Ether Tablet.
Hopefully not a mistake. I mean, I guess I would call it a mistake, but hopefully it doesn't hurt Barry all that much for skipping that tablet. We'll see.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll check it if he gets a sword. Is that the shovel?
I think it was the hook shot. Wait, that's not. Wait, that is possible. Hook shot in Hook Shot Cave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hook shot's fine there. You can just walk right through. Was it the hook shot?
That's what I saw, but I don't know. The commentator viewer can be a little fuzzy sometimes.
Okay, well, I'm bad at looking at things.
That's an important part of being a commentator.
I have a hard time telling the ice rod and the fire rod apart sometimes.
Oh, well, that could be maybe an issue of mild color blindness. Certainly, that could be a
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
Just couch cash in the ether tablet, so BarrybondZ saved there.
So yeah, you definitely want to know that that hook shot is there. You can absolutely get there. You can just walk right across in the hookshot cave.
Mirror's gonna let us glitch through this block. Don't have to go around and drop down in the Paradox Cave.
A red mail and the Master Sword.
Alright, so if no further progression is found... Well, what does this hammer get you without the Moon Pearl? I feel like not much.
Magic bat.
Without the powder, yeah. So Aghanim's still looking fairly
There's
likely.
that pearl.
Okay, there it is. The Dark World All Access Pass has been handed to the players thanks to Eastern Death Mountain.
Yeah, pretty bottlenecky seed.
Yeah, that's true. Hasn't been a whole lot of decision making for the players just yet. But now I think we've got a bit of openness with this Dark World access.
I realize the easier way of saying bottlenecky is linear, but I think bottlenecky should be a word.
I'm a fan of adding y to the end of nouns to create adjectives. So I support you in this. We're gonna get a hype cave check from BarrybondZ.
What's in the hype cave?
It could be something good. I mean,
How about the boots?
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I want more. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Give it to me. No, not bombs. Not hearts. No. Damn it.
So,
All right.
just the boots. But just the boots is kind of an understatement.
Yep, boots let you go fast. They open up a couple of locations, including desert, which they are now able to finish. But it does put a certain amount of expectation of execution on the runners. It's very hard to play optimally with the boots.
Hey, there's the fire rod.
Thanks, Stump Kid.
Pretty sure that was the fire rod.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
worry. That can back you up. It was indeed the fire rod. That's handy when Skull Woods is easily accessible now.
Yep, and we've got all sorts of fire. Every possible way of creating fire.
Yeah, that's right. The trifecta. Nicholacci into the Moldorm fight. I suspect he's a little off his game, and yeah,
It's a little trolled there on the side.
obviously this hurts your time, but it also can hurt your morale. Moldorm can be a frustrating enemy, and Nicholacci is a good player. I think the routing mistakes in desert are kind of unlike him. So
I feel like he might be a little on tilt right now, you know?
yeah, that's what I'm worried about, and that's why I'm worried that a boss like Moldorm might send him off the edge. I don't know. We'll see. Down to one more hit.
I believe that was
Trying to find a
18
hole, please.
Yeah, it's 18 digs in the dig game to get, a small amount of things.
That's a fair dig number.
It was a heart container. There we go. Yep.
I never turn my nose down at a heart container, even though BarrybondZ is already up to 12 hearts, 34 minutes into the seed.
There's another quarter added to that.
Nicholacci, recognizing progression has to be in the basement. On their way down, as Barry's heading back into the dark world.
Yep. And we will see whether he heads to Skull Woods or Thieves Town first, or the area around them.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it go both ways nowadays.
Yeah, I thought like people were really hot on Skullwoods. Everyone was saying Skullwoods, always go to Skullwoods, and then Skullwoods had nothing for a while, and then just the other day, just earlier today rather, Skullwoods had the progression item, was the place to go. So I don't know how I feel. Thieves Town has the item, Skullwoods a little faster to complete.
Yep, so MrBarrybondz is going actually straight for the back of Skull Woods. Having that fire rod, you can complete the dungeon. And with 12 hearts and fire rod, I think Mothula shouldn't be giving him much trouble.
Had that fire rod and could have taken care of those Gibdos a long time ago, but was trying to do the really suave statue pull to you kind of keep the statue between you and the Gibdos as you push and pull. It didn't quite work out, so got kind of harassed there. But
I imagine trying to save a little magic too.
For sure, they've still only got that fighter sword. Mothula is a pretty tough boss to fight with just the fighter sword. You got that hammer, but it's pretty awkward to hit Mothula with that as well. So fire rod definitely what you want.
So MrBarrybondz actually rectified the magic situation there by heading to the right-hand side there, past the big key room.
Also, I think I was wrong and did find the Master Sword. Yeah, definitely has the Master Sword.
Yes,
that will help for sure in the Mothula fight.
Yeah, the Master Sword was in the Paradox Cave.
Yep. Thank you, Death Mountain.
And Nicholacci will be picking that up ever so soon.
Fire rod mostly emptied out there, so we are going to be switching to the lamp just to preserve that little bit of magic.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty big deal. We got to kill this Gibdo to get a key out of him.
Yep. Taking the sword to him.
Like a bunch of slashes with the sword, with the Master Sword to kill it.
Yeah, Gibdos have so much health; it can be pretty unfair. Avoiding just barely avoiding the Floor Master as Barrybondz falls into the Mothula fight, opening it up with that guaranteed fire rod shot. That hammer definitely connected. No way Mothula touched the spikes on that one.
That was an excellent hammer shot.
Camping out in the corner now. Yep, that's another good one. I think Mothula's one more hammer hit away from dead. Trying to get him into that block in the back right.
I don't think that one counted. That one did.
Top of the screen, rather. Do the lantern, that's not going to work. All right, fire rod.
And there we go. Mothula goes down. 2.5 hearts left. And Skull Woods, the pendant or the crystal, has been acquired.
Barrybondz, I expect, is going to be heading into the front half of Skullwoods. I'm not really sure if there's too much of an advantage to doing it the way that he's doing it, when you're nowhere close to go mode or anything.
Yeah, if you're planning on coming back to do wait, what was that? That was just some compass, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're planning on coming back to do, Bumper Cave and things like that, seems like it might be useful. Now, we found out Thieves Town is crystal number 6.
And Tower of Hera was crystal That's the Pyramid Fairy now pretty much on the table for these players.
Indeed.
Thieves Town being a crystal, and they have the hammer, and it being of those two crystals means it's an incredibly lucrative play. I'm sure both players will find their way over there sooner rather than later, but not before Nicholacci goes to the desert for the 4th time to check Bombo's tablet.
Oh boy.
And is now finally has everything to finish Desert Palace this time around.
Indeed. So, MrBarrybondz finds the ice rod.
All right, both rods in hand. We're missing Cane of Samaria, and maybe that's it for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, you don't need the hook shot. You'd like it, but
Yeah,
but I mean, if you can get there, you'll have the hook shot because it's right there next to the on the floating island.
that's true.
Also, you need the Titan's mitts to get there.
Oh, duh. Okay. I always like looking to see when that early Turtle Rock play becomes available, with most of the Death Mountain checked. Not so much the Dark World, because of that lack of Titan's mitts, like you said.
So, as I suspected, MrBarrybondz is doing the North Hyrule play here. Which
yeah, this is
that seems pretty good. Like a good way to route Skull Woods if you're gonna do this.
Yeah, I agree. Mirror's going to make this pretty smooth, too. Able to check Graveyard Ledge here. And King's Tomb without the mitts. And could keep going over to Catfish. Just do a whole loop. Down to Pyramid? Who knows?
Yep. A lot of mirroring being done here. Just to be able to access all of these areas. But one of them could pay off big time.
So this is a
Not
lot of...
today.
Yeah, not yet anyway. There's still maybe some more places. We'll see. Barry's going back into that portal. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of overworld locations being checked here, and they're being checked very efficiently. But they are not dungeons that are being explored here. Dungeons tend to be where the items are.
So MrBarrybondz goes over to the King's Tomb and then afterwards heads down to Village of Outcasts instead of continuing on to Catfish and such. That seems fine.
Yeah, because I was just saying dungeons are a priority, especially Thieves Town in this case, because of the Crystal number 6 situation. And continuing on to Catfish and all those things on the east side is tempting to, make a nice clean sweep in your routing. But it does take you further and further away from Thieves Town. So before he gets too far, Barrybondz is going to head back and dive on in.
Alright, so MrBarrybondz heading into Thieves Town finds that first big key, which is guaranteed to be in one of these 4 chests outside. Finds the first item, just a blue rupee. And we head to the east side of the giant room.
Nicholacci dashing right into the graveyard, changing his mind, dashing left. I definitely give the lead to Barrybondz at this point. Not a big one, not a decisive one, but a lead all the same.
Yeah, it's a lead for sure. It looked like we had a small key and a compass for the remaining 2 items out in the front, so we still got 1 dungeon item remaining, and the remaining items will be actual potential items that you want to find.
Nicholacci heading into the Dark World portal at Kakariko. We'll see if he decides to make the same Skullwoods play. I think he will. Ooh, had the right pixel there, Barrybondz, for the dash up the hallway, but not getting the RNG that you need. The enemies need to kind of get out of your way a little bit.
Hey, that was good enough.
For sure.
Got most of the way up there without running into somebody.
Better than the average hallway. Sure enough, Nicholacci heading into Skullwoods.
How about that menu? Hey, there's the bow!
Nice find for Barrybondz.
That might alleviate some of the menu problems. So the bombs were the only thing on the top row.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying. You want to use bombs all the time for all the cracked walls. And menuing gets pretty weird when there's gaps. So that will improve efficiency in the menus a little bit. On top of the bow just being a great item to have, can now use it to fight with those silver arrows. Opens up
man.
finishing Eastern. Dip into pod.
Silver arrows are so great. Almost anything that is vulnerable to silver arrows dies in a single shot. There's a half magic.
Another good thing for Barrybondz with the fire rod. That can also go a long way.
And there's the burrito.
I was just getting hungry after that hype cave.
So, Thieves Burrito. What's gonna be in a Thieves Burrito?
Loxley. Locks.
Like
Rabbit.
stolen jewels?
I
That
think
sounds awful. I don't want that.
you'll get like some Robin of Locks seeds.
There you go.
Doesn't belong. It's not very good in a burrito, but there it is. Into the blind fight here for Barrybondz. Got a little bit off script here. Didn't quite get some of those hits as soon as possible, but fudging the third phase a little bit. Very well fudged, but still fudged.
Picking up a shield.
Little shield there.
Little ironic there, because you like, if you're me and you're bad, you like to have a fire shield or something for that fight.
Yeah, for that fight in particular, that's like the one thing that stands out in my mind as a reason for, hey, you know what? Don't look down too much on the fire shield.
There's 50 rupees in the sea house. Meanwhile, Nicholacci will be making his first check of the lumberjack cave.
And that's right. It's been a while since we saw that early on in the race. Some players, it's good information, but it's just so rarely is it something required that a lot of players have stopped valuing it as highly.
Yep. And this is the sort of thing that with time sort of self-corrects. So if it turns out to be more useful, people will start using it again.
Yeah. It's just where the meta has shifted over time with V26.
And MrBarrybondz is going to finish off Desert, looks like.
Yep, could have hopped in the Dark World portal and done Bombo's tablet on the way, but is instead opting to come straight here.
Also could have done Fat Fairy.
That's right. Yeah, Thieves Town finished. That's our second crystal of 5 and 6, which unlocks the big bomb shop, and the big bomb blows open a hole in the pyramid. 2 items to be found inside. We'll see if Barrybondz is aware of that. Not a lot of players are thinking about the pyramid this early on.
Yeah, it usually feels like a play that you get so late, but when those crystals are available that early on, that can definitely be an indicator that something good is there.
Looks like the other item in Desert was just a piece of heart, but it's still a crystal. We still need to finish it, so Barrybondz is going to be... I guess we knew this already. Nicholacci already finished Desert.
That is true. All right, so Nicholacci is heading over to Catfish.
Pretty out-of-the-way location. We saw Barrybondz turn away from checking Catfish and head over to Thieves Town, which I think was probably correct, but we'll see if it's going to bite him in the butt here.
The powder!
All right. Very, very, very good safety item. Also opens up a location to be checked at the magic bat.
We don't know if that was required or not.
That's just the ambiguous nature of some of these fetch quest items.
Yep. So, Magic Bat has the mushroom, which has the shovel.
Yeah, it's possible to create an absurd series of events that at the end could lead to
shovel
just
has
rupees.
the cane of Samaria.
Yeah, if it could be jackpot. It could be nothing. That's just the way these fetch quest items go. And Nicholacci's not having any of it. He says, if it's something, I want to know. So beelining it over to Magic Bat, hitting him with the powder. Fire Rod being put to use with a fantastic Landmolus fight from Barrybondz.
Just a piece of heart. And Catfish trolls in multiple ways today.
Yeah, things not working out for Nicholacci. Dropped back a little bit due to some routing issues in Desert. For the most part, everything else has been pretty solid, but has definitely fallen behind Barrybondz by just a little bit, and this Catfish play has not helped him out.
So we are very much looking for that those Titans mitts.
Yep, that's the big one right now.
Biggest troll I can think of right now is that the Titans mitts are in Swamp Palace. And then to finish Swamp Palace, you have to go get the hook shot.
Which is up on Death Mountain, yeah.
For which you need the Titans mitts.
Is there any... that's not going to work. Well, alright. Yeah, that would suck if that happened, but...
it would be straight garbage.
Barrybondz has to take the long way around, no Aghanim Dark Portal, so we're hammering down the pegs and finally checking this pyramid location.
Is there any other game besides this and Breath of the Wild in which the Hinoxes appear?
I don't even know what a Hinox is.
It's the
by name.
Guys with the eyes and the bombs.
I mean, Link Between Worlds, technically.
Okay.
But you're right. I can't think of another one.
And just money in the Fat Fairy Cave.
Oh, Link's Awakening mini boss.
Yeah.
There you go. You outsource the questions to chat, you get answers.
That makes sense. I like it.
Heading over to Palace of Darkness. This is a pendant, but we don't have the hook shot for Swamp. We don't have the cane for Turtle Rock. And Pod can easily be comboed with the other crystal dungeon we can do at this point, Eastern Palace.
Yep. So Palace of Darkness has 5 items, and most of them are going to be in the back.
Yeah,
Which is
with
why
all the
some of us call it the Mullet Mansion.
some of us do call it the Mullet Mansion. All the keys in the front, all the items in the back.
Yep.
I don't know if this has got legs on it, Bob. I enjoyed
I don't
it,
know.
but I don't know if Mullet Mansion is gonna make it in the annals of randomizer memes.
We'll see. Some people love it.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm not trying to force it, but I do have to bring it up every time. So maybe I'm trying to force it. I don't know.
it's usually because there's a bit of explanation that's required, and it
Right.
takes the wind out of its sails a little bit.
It's fun. But there you go.
All right, we've got Nicholacci is into Thieves Town, and this is great because he has the bow now. If Nicholacci had put this off for whatever reason, it only would have hurt him. Can't imagine why he would, though. Thieves Town, very lucrative in this seed.
Mm-hmm.
As MrBarrybondz is checking out Palace of Darkness. This is a pendant. We know the pedestal. The dreams have already been killed there. So we won't be finishing this dungeon unless Helmasaur has an item. Going to be important to keep track of what items have been found in the dungeon.
Well, I
so
will
far.
say Helmasaur kind of does have an item.
Oh, they already nailed that down?
Well, no, because Palace of Darkness is the green pendant.
Oh, you're right. Green pendant can be turned into Sahasrahla, who is nearby.
Hey, there's a Titan's Midst!
Wow, yep.
In
Things are all
pendant
working out.
Palace of Darkness.
This is not super surprising to see a required item in a pendant dungeon in V26.
It happens.
But it's more of how you deal with it. And MrBarrybondz has done a pretty good job of routing so far. Is able to kind of combo this visit to pod with Eastern. As Nicholacci wraps up the blind fight, got away from him a little bit, but got it back under control. Gets the crystal and the little shield.
Mm-hmm. So, MrBarrybondz will now be heading over to the backside of Palace of Darkness. We've got 50 rupees and the big key, so we're gonna need that potentially. Another small key and another small key. All right, so there's gonna be 2 things inside the dark maze, which might be dungeon items. I haven't been counting dungeon items because I'm bad.
Well, there's that. I think there's no more small keys.
Yeah, the small keys are done. Also, you can't have a small key in one of these chests. I believe it was explained to me once that you have the potential for key locking if there is a small key in any of these 3 chests.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to see the proof.
Well, it's because at this point you can go straight down to where Helmasaur is instead of opening that door.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So MrBarrybondz not opting to go kill Helmasaur for that green pendant, and instead going to finish off Eastern Palace.
Well, Nicholacci's been looking for something to get back in this race, and if the green pendant has the progression item, has the cane, or the flute that leads to the cane, or whatever, that could be it. Or it could be nothing. And Barrybondz has just saved himself a good, I don't know, minute or so at least.
Yep, so Nicholacci picking up that fire rod off of Mr. J.R. Stumpsman. And looks like he is going to probably do the Fat Fairy as well, maybe? Or has he already done that?
Hasn't done it yet, and is just about to.
Alright,
Lord
so
knows
Mr. Barrybondz will be heading over to the Armos Knights.
That's right. We're going the rupee room on the right, because they have so many rupees.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Arrow's going to make short work of the Red Igors, but especially the Armos Knights. Don't have to worry too much about going for the quick kill, since the Silver Arrows are going to kill it in one hit anyway.
Yep.
Ooh,
Having a little trouble with that red Igor.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair to have him walking around with that arrow sticking out of his face and not have that arrow deal damage, but it's just the way it goes.
Alright, just 20 rupees on the Armos Knights. And so now, where do we think we might find the Cane of Samaria? Well, I know for a fact that there's 6 or so items available on East Death Mountain right now. Dark Death Mountain, that is.
Can you get
Plus
there
Spike
without
Cave.
Titans?
He has the Titan's Mint.
He
got it
found
pod.
in pod. Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely where you go. I forgot. Found the. That's so huge that he has these Titans Mints. Nicholacci on his way to pod. Gonna be picking up those Titans. That's what he needs to do to stay in this.
And ideally, unless the green pendant is a big deal, he needs to grab those and get out. Mr. Barrybondz finally checking the ether tablet. He's going to find out that that is a whole lot of diddly.
Yep, has to watch an animation to find out though.
Oh, I didn't know Couch Cash could also be 50.
So it's Couch Cash, and then there's Horde, but there's something in between, right?
No, there's something smaller.
Oh,
There's Pocket Change.
okay.
Pocket Change is 1 or 5. And Couch Cash can apparently be 20, and then a Horde, 20 or 50. I think a Horde is 100 or 300.
I don't know if I approve of this. I feel like I'm more likely to be carrying around more change than can be found in a couch. But I guess the couch accumulates over time, so maybe I am okay with this.
Yeah.
Either way, Bombos being used to open up Turtle Rock. I don't think we knew it was Bombos, but it didn't matter because the players have had
Not one bit.
medallions. Yep.
I seriously doubt Mr. Barrybondz will be stepping inside at the moment. Unless he just really wants a little bit more magic.
And we'll see. Is going to want perhaps the hook shot before heading in.
Yeah.
Speed
Well,
things up, get some invincibility frames.
But they definitely need the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, you need that to get in, but
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Is it here on Death Mountain?
Let's find out. Alright, so Mr. Barrybondz opening the Hookshot Cave
Yep, we know this leads to Hookshot,
immediately.
but it's kind of funny that it's called the Hookshot Cave. It's a double entendre in this seed.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's after you get outside the cave that you pick it up to get the items inside the cave.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Back into the portal we go.
And in we go. So, 4 chests in here. Let's see what we got. 5 bomb upgrade. 10 arrows. Blue boomerang. Red boomerang.
All right, a pair of booms and no Cane of Samaria. So, the hunt continues.
Alright, so we've still got the Smith group, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and hammer pegs.
Hammer pegs. We've also got Swamp Palace.
That's probably where I would go, and it looks like that's where Barry is going. A lot of items to be found in Swamp. It's not super fast to clear the whole thing out.
Yeah. So Kane is absolutely go mode at this point, yes?
I mean, they just need Turtle Rock, Flute, Powder, Mushroom. None of that's gonna help. Have the
So-
boots, so don't have to worry about Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, so Kane is 100% go mode, so I think in this scenario, I would go to Argus first.
Yeah, I think I agree. There's 3 items, three locations to be checked on the west side of Swamp Palace, and you can avoid the whole thing if you get lucky and find the Cane of Samaria on the right side first.
MrBarrybondz could have done Spike Cave, however, that was indicated against because the logic would require you to have some way of getting through it without taking damage.
Yeah, no Cape or Cane of Burna found yet.
Right. Well, we got the big key in the first chest.
But who knows, maybe, the Cape is in here, and then the Cane of Samaria is in Spike Cave. Nicholacci is going to be clearing out Eastern after having finished. Or actually, I'm making an assumption there. I don't know if Nicholacci left. Yeah, and didn't do Helmasaur. That's right. So, not gonna have that green pendant gamble to maybe get something over Barrybondz.
Yep, so if Green Pendant turns out to be important, they're gonna have to backtrack big time.
I was gonna say they could be looking for it for a while, but well, with Misery Mire and Ice Palace yet to be checked, I guess that is a pretty long while that could be waiting for these players should the King of Samaria end up in there or end up in as a green pendant item.
There's the bug net. So all you fans of catching things, congratulations. 20 rupees in the big chest.
And there's the Argus first play you were talking about. Nicholacci down to 3.5 hearts. Really don't think it's a concern, especially with all the heart drops all of a sudden. Gonna be able to finish off Armos Knights, no problem.
Having the big key early in Swamp makes you feel good, because now you don't have to backtrack necessarily.
Yeah, Swamp's one of those weird ones where the big isn't really needed to get to the boss.
Right,
So-
not much there.
It's possible Argus drops it, and then you kind of have to find your way back into the dungeon to open that big chest.
I think with Master Sword we don't see menu boss. Master Sword you just slash twice, it's faster than menuing to the mirror.
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, so let's see what Argus drops. How many R's are in Argus?
7.
Okay.
And it should be pronounced as such. Nicholacci is up on Death Mountain, by the way. This is not gonna... I mean, it's gonna get that hook shot, and it's probably gonna lead him to Swamp. But
Yep.
This is good news for him. MrBarrybondz, I don't think is gonna be able to get the 1 cycle on Argus.
Argus!
And is looking at maybe even a 3 cycle here. Oh, trying to get the doubles going. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening when he ends up firing the wrong direction. He hadn't quite turned yet in order to grab the next one.
And that Silver Arrow's going to finish off this phase.
There we go.
It. There it is.
Nailed it.
Yeah, point blank, right in the eye. Just a map, so into the second half of Swamp Palace. We probably go anyway.
Probably go check the Memorial West Wing of Swamp Palace. Memorial, because if you don't memorial it, you might leave something behind.
Nicholacci is still up on Death Mountain. Opening up the Super Bunny chests. MrBarrybondz has finally got into the west side here of Swamp Palace. Going to be seeing some new locations shortly.
Yep. The other upside with doing Argus first is you can't bury the key. That's in
Oh yeah, you're out of
down there.
out of keys to get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
But,
Does mean that you go a little slower, but what are you
sure.
gonna do?
Yeah, see the water that's filling that that corridor there prevents you from getting down to the key under that skull pot. And if you steal a key from this room with the hook shot, like the game doesn't intend you to, you can get in that door early and hit that switch before you get that key. And that means you can't get that key anymore. You have to reset the water. To do that, you not only have to leave the dungeon, you have to leave the screen where the dungeon is. So it's a pretty big time loss for a silly mistake.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so let's see what's in these chests. We have single rupee hype, ladies and gentlemen. And 5 bomb upgrades, so Swamp Palace, a complete waste of time.
The hook shot has led them astray.
I mean, other than that crystal, of course.
Well, yeah, you're right. So what do you, Ice Palace?
Ugh. Pendant ice, get out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's got to be the play at this point. There's definitely some overworld.
Yeah, I'm thinking before I go into ice, I'll do like blacksmith, peg cave, purple chest, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's not so bad. That's a fair number of locations all at once to make the trip worth it, perhaps. But I don't know. I've seen the dungeon have the item all too often in situations like this. And I feel like, because first off, let's just be clear that no one likes Ice Palace. No one,
Yeah.
Not even a little. So I think there's not so much a play based off logic, but a play based off of emotion to avoid Ice Palace.
Right. Yeah, just couch cast on pedestal. We saw that 5 minutes into the run.
Oh yeah, pedestal's
They got
super
the
dead.
book real early.
Didn't even have a chance.
And the glorious hammer dash to destroy these pegs.
Yep, not all item dashes are useful. The shovel dash, for example, as cool as it looks, doesn't actually dig as it goes. It's like a cosmetic dig, sort of. But the hammer dash will absolutely knock down those pegs.
If you're not careful, you can get yourself stuck.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That was using the shovel dash with a shovel that's not yours.
Oh. Yeah, I can see how that could go wrong.
Yeah, I think Willard did that at one point. There
King
it is!
of Samaria found. You called it. I said Ice Palace. You said I'd check those overworld locations. Sure enough, there it was. The Dwarven
You
Cane
have
Smiths.
quite a treasure there in that cane of Samaria.
That enables go mode.
Yes, go mode has been acquired, and MrBarrybondz will be heading up to acquire his last crystal in Turtle Rock.
And I gotta say, that's kind of the nail in the coffin for Nicholacci at this point. A whole dungeon and a half behind. It's not easy to make up such a gap in this situation.
Yep. And once again, the seeds conspire against me to leave them without the flute.
Yep, that's true. They've done it all fluteless. They've never set foot in the Misery Mire area.
I'm just gonna stop writing special lyrics for runs.
It's the game's way of telling you, Bob.
Because when I do that, there's no flute. It's really sad.
You can save it for your own streams.
Yeah.
Nicholacci is making their way through the Swamp Palace. But there's all of this, and then Skull Woods to be finished off. Which is a pretty quick dungeon, but still, that's a big gap, and we're running out of game left to play. Not that it isn't impossible for something to go wrong for Barrybondz. Certainly a lot of time to be gained and lost with the Ganon's Tower big key. Bad things can happen at the Ganon fight.
Speaking of the Ganon's Tower Big Key, here in a minute when Barrybondz acquires his 7th crystal, we'll be starting the guessing game. If you'd like to get in on that leaderboard, if you have supported the channel or the Speed Gaming channels with either a subscription or a cheer of 250 bits, then you too can join the leaderboard, and that will happen shortly after MrBarrybondz grabs the 7th key.
Still Turtle Rock to go, though.
Yeah.
Nicholacci doing the double pulls here on Argus. Just barely getting those two before they reattached. I'm sorry, Argus.
Argus. Actually, I'm being told now that there are 17 R's in Argus.
Yeah, this report just coming in.
This just in.
Someone out there on the front lines with a giant eyeball monster behind them. I've just been informed. Well, I don't know if I can pull off the pronunciation, but I'll try if given the chance. Nicholacci has now finally defeated Argus. What was that? That was bad.
I know.
Okay.
It was
Nicholacci.
intentionally bad.
Back into the swamp with the intention of checking the west side, and this is not going to work out, as we know. But I think it's the right play in the situation.
Oh yeah. You're looking for that one item, you don't want to leave it behind. Alright, so MrBarrybondz has 2 small keys, and I'm pretty sure that's the way you want to be at the moment. He doesn't even have to check anything else.
Yeah, has silvers, has half magic. Wouldn't mind a sword upgrade, I think, but
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon is not fun.
yeah, the Sword of Evil's Bane actually only works against the Lord of Evil if you're using it in a circular motion.
More like Sword of Evil's lame.
Yeah.
Sick
Stupid
burn.
sword. Yeah, you need to do spin slashes in order to actually hit Ganon with the Master Sword. Tempered Sword, however, does enough damage or whatever to just straight up slash him. Makes the first and second phases go by much faster. Makes the last phase go by much, much faster if you don't have silver arrows, but they do.
Yeah, Silver's improved that. I think the Master Sword fight with Silvers is harder than the Tempered Sword fight without.
I guess it depends on what happens in the Fire Bats phase. Like, if he gets in a good spot and you get to land all those spin attacks, and I think
Yeah.
Nicholacci is heading to Ice Palace. This is really
no.
bad news for him. Barrybondz doesn't want to do Master Sword damage to Trinexes, doing the menus to the hammer, and because using the rods are required to get the heads vulnerable, this is pretty much a menu boss going on right here. You're never quite sure if the rod hit actually landed. Down to 5 hearts, having only destroyed one of the heads. Definitely not the ideal fight.
Needs to finish off the ice head before it spews more goop on the ground.
Oh, just going nuts with the fire rod. It actually does do damage to the head, but not a whole lot. Has half magic, so it is able to get away with it.
And there we go. So the ice head goes down, and now we're just left with the one remaining head of Trinex. This should be pretty quick.
Maybe
1,
the hammer's
2,
gonna bounce
and
them off.
3 and
4. I honestly thought it was
5.
5.
It was 4.
I think it was. Oh well. Trinex is dead. Had 5 hearts, but didn't.
No, it's definitely 5 hits to kill him
with the hammer. Yeah,
the hammer,
you bounce
yeah.
off him with the hammer in a way that well. I guess you bounce with the tempered, but you have like the hammer thumps down afterwards, and that makes it even longer to land those hits.
And it's that time to start putting in your guesses for the big key location.
That's right, big key. Where's it gonna be? Somewhere in Ganon's tower, in one of 22 locations. The big key that is required to finish Ganon's tower is to be found. I'm seeing a lot of 13s. I don't know if this is in honor of Halloween that happened quite recently.
Yep. So, where do you think it's gonna be?
Well, I'm putting it in chat right there. 19. 19's my lucky number. I always go with lucky number 19.
You would have won my other one from today.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It all started back at the school fair when I won a big cake with the number 19, and I decided way back then it was my lucky number, even though it was like 20 years ago. Here I am today with lucky number 19. We'll see. It's not number 1 or 2.
And number 3 is a small key. Rip me. And there you go.
Yeah, that's right. Bob, the anti-fairy, is dead, leaving it on the thing. Yeah, there's a thing that I need to look up real quick. And there it is. Our big key guesses are in. I'm allowed to keep guessing after we've opened up some locations.
Sorry, I forgot to do the stop.
But it's not going to be... Oh, we're getting a mirror out. Barrybondz is doing the sort of Dark Magician route. I think Dark Magician starts left, then goes right, and fully clears right, whereas Barrybondz went right, left, and now is back over to the right, so this is the pendulum play. Dashing straight through the tile room. Honestly, at this rate, it doesn't matter what route he takes through Ganon's tower, because Nicholacci is just hip deep in Ice Palace right now, and it's not going to work out.
He's not getting any closer to winning here.
Going for a bomb jump.
And Nicholacci can't actually just go mode Skull Woods either. Because the ice rod is in there.
Well, he's already got it from there.
Maybe I'm making that up. Okay.
No, I was in there, but Nicholacci's already been to check the front half.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have the fire rod that Barrybondz had, because Barrybondz routed over to Stump Kid really early after the Dark World opened up.
Right, that makes sense. Don't pay any attention to me.
Well, it's a miracle that I remembered it, if I'm being honest. So back over to the left side for Barrybondz. Possible to continue to Ice Armos from the right, but the pendulum swings back the other way, and here we are on the left side.
Yeah. I believe this route he's doing, is basically the route that checks all 22 in the slowest amount of time total. But you get a lot of chests up front, is the thing.
Okay. So there's some method to this madness that just hasn't worked out for Barry.
There is a reasonable trade-off.
Gotta confess, though, this route has thrown me for a loop. I haven't kept track of Ganon's Tower chest locations that we've checked so far.
So it looks like the Cane of Brian was on Cold Stare.
Small comfort for Nicholacci. So didn't check tile room, so that's 6 on the right side. And on the left side, we've had another 6, I think.
It was just in the big chest.
So I think we've seen 12 locations, and that's 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yep. No, I think that was 17.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was just counting off Bob and the Ice Armos chests is only getting us up to 21. But I guess it's not Bob anymore. Bob's been turned into a regular anti-fairy.
True. My favorite chest to choose is Bob's chest, of course, just because, that's what my name is. But because of the way the system works, I have to use the number. There's chest number 18. So if it turns out to be 19, which is yours, it'll be the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, I got a 1 in 3 chance of winning this thing, folks.
Yeah, 1 in 4. It could be tile room.
You're right. Oh, so maybe... Yeah, 22, 21, 20, 19. Oh, it's not 19. 20. 20, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's big key 20. Yeah.
What?
Congratulations, Dr. Bob, with number 14 as the closest guess. It's really late at night. It's almost 1 o'clock on the East Coast, so there's
I guess so.
Not quite as many active chatters. A lot of people are drifting
out
off to sleep. with the stream in the
Out doing
background.
Halloween things or whatever.
Yeah. So close enough, says the bot. 14. Maybe everyone said 21 and 22, and it's Price is Right rules.
It is Price is Right rules.
I talked to Fiesel and I said, it's got to be Price is Right rules. And at that point, he
it's
said
not?
I couldn't have anything to do with the. Yeah, no, it's not. I was making a joke. He said I'm not allowed to touch the bot anymore. But that's okay, as long as the bot is up and running. So there it is, Dr. Bob on the leaderboard.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
Barrybondz heading into the gauntlet. Price is Right is dumb. You take that back. HM kills. I won't have that talk here on Speed Gaming. But you're right, it doesn't have a place in the Big Key Guessing game. Gauntlet, going well for Barrybondz. Going with the slashes on the horse heads, and as I said, it's getting away from him a little bit, down to 7 hearts and still a couple of rooms to go. Horsehead's at least playing nice in the ice room. Doesn't have the tempered sword that Nicholacci found in Ice Palace, so having to two-shot some of these enemies.
so. I think I found out what those horse heads are actually called.
Hit me with it.
They're called Zazak.
That Zazak or Zazak?
Zazak. Zazak.
Zazak.
Now that being said, Horsehead probably works better.
Yeah, as a person who has to say words, I appreciate the simplicity of Horsehead. There's the Cane of Samaria found for Nicholacci after Ice Palace. So that's go mode for Nico, but there's so much. There's an entire Turtle Rock that needs to be cleared out, as well as Ganon's Tower. I mean, maybe something bad happens at Ganon. Maybe Barry goes on tilt, can't pull it together. Ganon fight drags on and on. Who knows? Not
I mean, like I
over
said,
yet, but
Master Sword Ganon is
it's tough.
super garbage.
It's pretty tough. Does have those silver arrows. If he didn't have silver arrows, I would be like, it could be anyone's race, just because the Master Sword Ganon fight is so hard without the silver arrows. But as it is, I'm quite confident Barrybondz is going to come away with this one.
It does seem likely. Found that second single rupee there in Ganon's Tower.
Very important find. It's going to put him up to exactly 1,350 rupees.
Yep, he just needs to find a way to lose 13.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you win all the internet points into the Moldorm fight. This is another opportunity for a disastrous amount of time to be lost, but 2 spins, Moldorm fight going extremely well.
3 spins, and he goes down. 3 spins with the Master Sword. Moldorm is dead. Mr. Barrybondz playing the song of his people at the chest, not even opening it.
Yeah, that's some
That actually seems like a bad play at this point.
there's
Like-
2 sword upgrades out there as far as Barrybondz
Yeah.
knows.
If you could have gotten tempered from that.
I hope it's in there, honestly, if you're gonna go ahead and do that. His opponent has not typed in the .done. He has no idea how close he is to his opponent. For all he knows, such a display of hubris could be the difference between 3-3 and 4-2.
And
Down
we got
to
a
3
double.
hearts in the Aghanim fight. Red Mail's not going to help you too much here. Oh, but
Reasonably certain there's still a fairy from way back when.
oh yeah, you're right. So not
There's
going to
a
be done.
fairy and a bottle of green potion.
With half magic, the green potion maybe not too relevant, but if he wants to bust out that cape, maybe it is. We'll see.
Yep. Cape strats certainly wouldn't hurt in MrBarrybondz goes. Getting the Zelda 2 text here.
You can see the swords here. Look how far away it sends you from Ganon. Getting a pretty okay position from Ganon. Not quite close enough to the wall to get the double hits with those spins.
Yep. So you need 12 spin attacks per phase to push Ganon into the next phase here. So that's 1 on this trident tossing phase and
There's
12 on the 12 on
12 on
the
the fire bats.
fire bat phase. After that, we've got the stompy phase, which is just 1 spin per stomp, and then we do silver arrows.
So that's 2 on the fire bats so far. Has the hook shots, can use it for the invincibility frames, but opts to just bob and weave through the bats so far. Playing it very safe.
Some
You
pretty
can't
sick
blame it.
dodging.
Fire bats were way off course with a lot of those. Has an opportunity here to go for some double hits, so he is going to use the cape to make sure that he can get these. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
11, 12. Excellent. So this should
Oh, comes
be-
out of the cape a little bit too early, down to 1 heart.
And we are getting spiral flames.
Yeah,
Ring of fire.
once one of those bats gets out, it can make it tricky to get the other hits and prevent the other bats from coming out. But he has got back on top of it and is into the final phase.
Did we mix in a V18 seed? There were no extra Ganon teleports there.
Yeah, those are... It's pretty fantastic Ganon fight RNG-wise. Wow, maybe could have got like a triple there, but unfortunately got away from him. 2 hits on Ganon so far. Missed torch glitch, but with half magic and the green bottle, if necessary, it's not going to be a problem. Just barely getting the sword before the fire bat came out. 1 more silver arrow left.
And down he goes. MrBarrybondz
executed.
defeats Ganon.
It's just a short wait and a short walk to the Triforce room before Barrybondz can officially be done.
And he finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 29 seconds.
We got a little cocky with that validation chest flute play, if I'm being honest, but then backed it up, proved he could walk the walk with a Master Sword Ganon fight, executed very well. MrBarrybondz is going to be moving on 4-2, going to guarantee a place in the brackets, the second stage of this tournament.
Yep. Looks like MrBarrybondz is ready to join us, so
That's
let's
good.
do that. Hello, MrBarrybondz GG.
Well, you are very quiet on my end. Hopefully Fiesel can boost your mic.
Yeah, 1 moment.
As Nicholacci's pulled out the cape to deal with the Turtle Rock Laser Bridge room.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can get the mic issues sorted out for Barrybondz, our winner today.
Yep, hopefully that'll work out. Alright, so Nicholacci will be heading into the Trinex fight. The Trinex fight with the Tempered Sword is significantly easier than with the Master Sword. Or Hammer Strats. You need 5 slashes per head, with possibly 4 on the Ice Head on account of the red, the Ice Rod, Fire Rod doing damage. And hello!
Hello, do I sound better now?
Yeah, quite a bit better.
Alright, good. I had mic boost turned off.
Aha. So, GG.
Thank you.
It's pretty good. I'm I appreciated the song of your people on the chest there. It was pretty good. So your opponent, where do you think he encountered trouble?
He may have gambled Ice Palace.
That he did. He absolutely went into Ice Palace. He picked up the Tempered Sword there, so that's helpful. But other than that, yeah, he gambled Ice Palace. He was even a little behind you coming out of Swamp. I think it was because he made 4 trips to Desert.
Oh, that's
something
rough.
like that. Yeah. You were definitely ahead on routing for the most part. I mean, the seed kind of Death Mountain was all kind of on rails for the most part. Mirror got you up to Terra, Hammer from there got you over the east side, which is where you got your Dark World access. But after that, you guys approached the Dark World differently, and I think it made a pretty big difference. Fire Rod on Stump Kid, for example, was a late pickup for Nicholacci. So, what was your thinking for heading that way through the Dark World once that opened up?
I had Mirror, so generally I'll always go to Hype Cave up to the dig game. And since I had Mirror, I could just go straight to town, right? And then use the Mirror spot there. Like, to me, this felt like extremely linear. Like, it was like just forcing me to go everywhere. So it felt to me it was coming down to execution more than anything.
Yeah, so
Barring,
when you
the trip to Ice Palace,
when you went into, or when you finished Swamp, Mythical and I were having a discussion about, where do you go next? And he was like, well, Ice Palace. And I was like, do you really want to go to Ice Palace? And then I thought, maybe do like the Smiths and stuff first. And that's what you ended up doing. So it was a good thing.
Well, it's kind of funny. Kane, I feel like Kane placement, there's a high percentage of it being on the Smiths. So when I'm looking for Kane, I will always check Smiths.
Interesting.
And I found it there so many times.
And so do you think it's just like anecdotal, or do you think you have enough there for it, like enough data for that to be like...
I feel like I've played enough seeds. Like, I race all the time. I've played so many seeds that to me is a higher chance for the Kane to be there. I mean, Ice Palace is pretty close too, actually. Like, Pendant Ice Palace, I have found Kane there a lot of times too. But lately in my races, I've been skipping the Smith chain, and it's bit me a couple times. So that's another reason why I did it, because when I skip that chain, it always bites me.
And yeah, it would have got you this time.
So I think Nicholacci is just checking things for no reason at this point.
Yeah, isn't Go Mode. This is after the dot down has come, though, so this has maybe influenced his decisions to keep playing here.
Well, I mean, he's got all 7 crystals, doesn't he?
Pretty sure he does. Trying to get the purple chest before stepping into the portal, and was not successful.
Pull it off.
How familiar are you with Master Sword Ganon fights? Because your fight looked pretty darn good.
I've done it quite a few times. I was actually practicing it earlier today too, because I don't know, lately I've been having to do Master Sword Ganon.
It's definitely something you don't want to be caught doing and not be ready for.
I don't know who would do that in a race. I don't know what you're talking about.
Poor Dr. Bob.
I think I did a race yesterday, and it was Master Sword Ganon. And I died to Ganon like 3 times. I forfeited the race. So today, I was practicing it earlier. Even though I've done it a lot, it's just like, I feel like you need to keep practicing certain things.
Yeah, I think there's a huge amount of value in that. I think so much fun is had in seeing where all the items are, that a runner's ability to execute can fall by the wayside a little bit. So I think it's important to call attention to the fact that you missed very, very few hits on that game fight, maybe none. Now that I think about it.
See, I think one of the biggest things for fighting Ganon with Master Sword 2 is you have to have patience, because sometimes his positioning is really bad, and some players will just try to keep hitting him. Like, you gotta wait for him to reposition, especially if you have the cape, because then you can, use the cape and get spin attacks.
Yeah, we saw that in your fight detected when Ganon was kind of one tile away from the wall on that fire bat phase, and went in with the cape and the spins, got all 8, I think, of the last hits of the 12. Yes, overall, very, very solidly executed. Wanted to give you props for that.
So I saw that menu time going by there at the end, and I wanted to discuss a little bit how gross the menu was at one point. There was a point where the bombs were like the only thing in the first row, and you had to go get them a bunch, and it just looked awful to try to navigate that menu.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you bring that up. It was pretty bad to navigate. But when you have the the bow, it actually wasn't too bad to switch between like the mirror and the bombs, which I was doing a lot. I think you go right and it just goes straight to the bombs. Same thing as if you had the bow. But then once I got the bow, I was like kind of confused because I kept trying to switch to the bombs, and I was like, oh wait, I have bow now.
Oh yeah, you gain one opportunity to move from one item to another. From one item to the bombs, you lose the opportunity to do it from the mirror. Man, menus. A lot of time to be gained and lost in menus, and it looks like Nicholacci is officially forfeited from the race. You could tell his heart wasn't quite in it when he was messing around with the purple chest. And,
yeah.
I suspect Nicholacci maybe on tilt a little bit after some of the weird grouting in Desert. A fall to Moldorm, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so he did a clip to get into Mimic Cave.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah, Nicholacci is pretty accomplished as far as major glitch categories goes. He does a lot of glitches.
Oh, interesting. I actually did not know that.
There's 300 rupees there in the Mimic Cave.
I was a little bit worried I was behind as well because I decided to go to EP, which had no worth. Everywhere I went had no worth until I got that the mirror and the gloves.
Yep. Fortunately for you, that was the case for your opponent as well. So everything was very, very straightforward, bottlenecky as I called it.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad early game for sure. Because I knew I needed boots because I went to Desert right away as well.
Yeah, that was one of the downfalls. Nicholacci went to Desert, got to the room with the ropas, and you have to clear them out, but you don't have like a sword or anything, so you had to use bombs. And I think Nicholacci either didn't want to use the resources there or whatever, but just left and didn't get that information that it was boots locked. And also didn't check Agana's cave in the process, so yeah, ended up not going so well for Nicholacci there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, it looks like your opponent is, kind of messing around, showing us a few things that we might not have seen, but he doesn't seem like he's going to be coming to talk to us. So, Mr. MrBarrybondz, that's 4 wins. So you made it.
Yeah.
It
feels pretty good.
Feels good.
Feels good, man. Yeah, you are
feels good.
guaranteed to move on to the bracket stage of this tournament. And Nicholacci's not out of it yet. 3-3 means Nicholacci's going to be in the wild card race.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. There was so many good players that were 3-2. Like there was Ben, there was Christos, I think Gerdo. Like there's a couple players I'm not sure if I just butchered his name, but there was a lot of good players, and it was like, please don't pair me with them. Please don't pair me with Christos.
Well, Nicholacci was pretty solid on execution. It was just some of the routing got away from him, and maybe I think it could happen early on, and I think it kind of threw him off for the rest of the race.
I feel like when you get to this point in the tournament, like even in Swiss, 3-2, you're not going to be playing a bad player.
No, absolutely. I mean, everyone in this tournament qualified ahead of a large number of people, 150 or so names that are in the secondary tournament. So right away, you're already, a cut above. And then you pick up 3 wins out of 5 in that situation. Yeah, absolutely.
This was also my first race on my SD to SNES.
Oh yeah, so a switch from emulator to console. What's that been like?
It's pretty wild actually. The difference, like if you play on an emulator, you don't really think there's a difference, but once you actually go to console, it's just like wow, it's mind blowing how big the difference is.
Yeah.
Even the item menu is just so much more responsive in the console. Like that's the biggest thing that I've noticed is like I went from having an average of like above, I would say 4 minutes menu time. My last couple races, I've been able to average like anywhere from 2.5 minutes to 3.
Wow. Yeah, that's because it's reaction based, right? You can get used to timing windows with the delay that you get when you play on emulator. Your brain can just kind of figure it out. But when it comes to reaction time, reacting to things and then pressing a button, like say the menu comes down and you see where the items are, that is when the input delay really starts to make a difference. So things like enemies that move randomly when you get into a room, being able to react to where they're going, that's the kind of thing where you do get that advantage on console. Have you had much time to like get used to the difference, and like did it throw off your timing for like bomb jumps or anything?
I got it about almost a week ago, so I've been practicing. But yeah, definitely the bomb jumps are a lot different because before I was playing on a widescreen monitor and I had it stretched, so you could see the pixels super easy. So bomb jumping was actually pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
So once I switched to console on the CRT, it's just like your pixels are tiny.
A bit of squinting, they bleed together a little bit.
Like how you see it, like my stream setup, that's basically how it looks on my TV. Like the pixels are a lot smaller, and I would say almost a little bit more blurred.
Well, it's a good thing that you had enough time to properly prepare for this match. I think it showed. So one last time, thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on your win and for moving on, and we wish you the best going forward in the tournament.
Awesome, thank you. And huge shout out to you guys for casting, and Feasel and Speed Gaming, and our tracker as well. I'm not sure how you say his name.
I think it's Sir Laugh-A-Lot.
Well, I think you're right, Sir Laugh.
But I had to study it for a little bit.
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, But yeah. All right, we got that figured out. Once again, thank you so much. That's going to do it for a broadcast here on Speed Gaming 2. But I think there's one last thing just finishing up over on Speed Gaming 3. So that's where we're going to go. Also,
if you stick around really late, there's another one coming up in an hour and a half.
Yep, at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, there is a match. So at maybe 3 we'll head over there. I don't know.
So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you once again to our runners and our tracker and our restreamer and everybody. If you want to give these guys a little support, the easiest way to do that is to just throw a follow at them. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Is there anything else you want to say, Mythical? No, that's it. Go watch Speed Gaming 3, enjoy more Randomizer, and come back tomorrow for more. I've been Dr. Bobtastic, and I will see you all later. Good night.